Greetings, fellow slinging agents in the wild. It's your trusted handler, Brian, welcoming you back once again. Yeah. So let's get through the shoutouts so we can get to the meat and potatoes. The first one goes out to good friend of the show, Henry Anderson. In actuality, this came in from last week, but he had edited the comment after I had already recorded the shoutout. He had said, "Good role-playing, guys. The guys have become so well behaved. I do miss some serious door kicking and katana swinging." Thank you, Henry, once again. To this, I can only add, I know how this season ends. Your wish may be in the near future. Next goes out to Of Steam, Steel, and Murder, who says, life-affirming 80s metal, and I immediately thought of Queensryche's Take Hold of the Flame. Man, you guys are bringing the nostalgia now as well. Insert chef's kiss. Well, as for us hard slingers of yore, with the exception of Junior, of course, we are all from the 80s and we know our target audience. So please enjoy the little inside innuendos and jokes that we come up for those like-minded individuals such as ourselves. Enjoy. The third and fourth shoutouts go to James Wachter, who commented twice. He said, "These guys are thinking about every detail. I love this, gents." Yeah, when I'm planning a scenario, it really pins me down having to create an AP that will give them a challenge. And I know that sometimes it can take me up to 2 months to create one. Believe me, I know my wife's always like, "Are you going to be writing? You always write, you always write." Yeah. Because these guys, they can tax you when you're trying to figure out, you're overthinking it. But anyways, let me get to the next comment of his. He says, "I've only run D&D as a DM. I've played Pathfinder. I've watched a bunch of Call of Cthulhu and Delta Green. I've thought a ton about trying to get my D&D group to play Delta Green." Yeah, I know that can be difficult too. "I used to think about which book I would run. Now I'm thinking about which starter book I would buy to try to learn how to write my own adventure. Your original content runs are way better. You write the hunt based on knowing your players. Thanks, brother." No, thank you for these awesome, kind words, James. This is the validation every handler who writes his own scenarios aspires to. Seriously, thank you. I know in the past I've rambled on in previous seasons' intros about how I come up with these scenarios. But if you want to drop me an email over at rollthehard20podcast@gmail.com, I can send you out a PDF of something I ran a few times for you to use with your own group if you want. Maybe a little, palate wetter for your guys, your group. So let me know. All right, all done. Now let's warm up our dice and top off our glass as Rolled Hard 20 presents Collateral Damage, Episode 8.
AIs in this kind of stuff. So
I think if I used AI at work, it'd probably go rogue and start murdering half the people that work there.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking sending all kind of trouble codes and shit.
That's
this
right.
guy does not compute.
Hey, Sammy.
Hey, Sammy, we thought you got drafted in the militia.
That's right. You're holding the line.
I saw this video the other day. It was showing it looked like a dog, but it was all wearing like black pajamas. It was all total AI and had like a Laws rocket on its back and it's all prancing around, and it showed it zoomed in and it had like a ninja mask around its face. It's like that thing went total stealth mode. It even got in character with that. So that was kind of funny. Sammy?
My name is Ichimaru Kimura.
Fucking
Yeah,
let's
sounds
do
good.
this.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Like I said, one episode.
Oh, hold on. I got to go to the bathroom.
Greetings, fellow slingers. Welcome back to Roll the Hard 20 podcast. It is I, your trusted handler, Brian, with me, my hard slingers of yore.
Yes.
Episode 8 of our Collateral Damage Homebrew Delta Green scenario. Before we begin, as I edited and was by default locked into listening to episode 7, I was amazed by two things. I'll make this very quick, by the way. Number one, how Odessa was able to use what he had learned from a book he had procured from several seasons past to try and delve into the mysteries regarding the folded bills. And 2, how Rice had set about tracking down the link to the text messages that each suicide victim had received. I got to say, when I listened back to that episode, I was amazed at both of the things that both agents did, to the point where I got to give out a gold doubloon to each.
Hey.
Yeah.
Each? Awesome. Thanks, brother.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. A little check mark. Watch out. It's about 1:15 a.m. Odesso, as you sit in this wooden chair, one hand still cuffed to the desk and shaking off the fog from Ichimaru choking you to sleep, you slowly begin to come out of this fugue. You look around. You see Agent Coldwell and Agent Ichimaru behind you. You see Agent Omega behind you on the bed, looking at his computer. And your mind starts going over what you saw when you looked at that first folded bill. It's really hard for you to put into words what you were feeling. You just know that there was some kind of compulsion that made you reach for more bills. And then there's something about the one bill that you looked at, something very reminiscent of a scroll you had taken from an old woman's house in Chicago.
Gretna Green.
Correct. You remember certain portions of a sigil in this scroll. And some of the things that are on that $10 bill had the same essence as what was in that scroll.
Anything I can write down? Anything I can transcribe onto a notepad so I don't have to look at the bills again?
No, and unfortunately, it didn't seem like any of these items translated to specific words. Mm-hmm. These little markings, these sigils that formed this glyph with this giant green eye with the red iris. They defied logic, but for some reason, these particular hash marks and scoops and whatnot of ingrained penmanship just triggered something in your mind.
Did I feel another presence, like somebody was looking through my eyes? Or I was looking through somebody like it was a two-way portal?
Go ahead and make an occult check for me.
Got it. That's a 10% chance right there. But wish me luck. That's a 79 under 10. So no, I'm clueless.
It's not so much that you're clueless. It just seems like it's beyond your knowledge to know. Because even though you have been studying that book, it's very rudimentary, the stuff that you've gleaned from it.
Right.
It's written by some old man in some Hillbend, California town that was dead long before you got there.
Can I make out... Well, I don't really want to look at the bill again. Do I remember any partial symbol that I could draft onto a notepad?
You remember there was a ring around the eye that was segmented. That's the best I could describe it.
I mean, my own memory has it as a pyramid with an eye in the middle, surrounded by symbols.
Well, I think you may be mistaking the pyramid for the actual design of the folded bill.
That may be it, yeah.
If you were to look at the $10 bill once again, none of these marks or dots or swishes resemble any type of an alphabet that you have ever seen.
Gotcha. Okay,
there's really nothing that you could say that, oh yeah, that resembles an A, or that might be some calligraphy or whatnot. But as you begin to noodle this through, your phone begins to vibrate. As you look down, you see a text message on the home screen that says, "The hidden truth is in you," and there's a link attached to it.
Gotcha. Well, I'm not going to click the link. I'm going to say, Omega, my phone's ringing, and it's a link. pretty sure this is the same link that everybody else looked at before they killed themselves. I don't know. We really just want to trace the source. Can you access it without opening the link?
Yeah, I can. But don't click it. Don't click. Yeah, just give me your phone.
I will not click it. Yeah.
Hey, hand me your phone.
I hand him the phone.
Okay.
So I take that link and I start running it through without clicking it. I start doing some searches to find out like who the web host is and start tracing, just like I did with the previous link, trying to find out if it's coming from the same location. If I recall, it is.
It is.
I remember that I traced this back to Vex Networks, which was the ISP, and a company called Quantum Horizons. And and then the phone number was tied to a cell phone, AT&T. Is that still the same?
The phone looks like it is still attached to it. By the way, the Odesso's phone has stopped chiming for this text message.
So remember when I traced that number, it had been disconnected for 6 months.
That's correct.
So it's still okay. So Odesso, from my previous work through this number dead ended at a cell phone that's been disconnected for 6 months. And I just reran all of that same traces and it's going back to the same number. And I try to get information. It still says
it's disconnected.
Yeah, I tried to get some information out of AT&T, trying to social engineer them a little bit, but it didn't work out so well. So I feel like this is a dead end.
If the phone is disconnected, is it possible for someone to be sending directly from the server using the number, even though it's disconnected?
They're spoofing it.
Yeah.
They're spoofing the number.
Yeah. Okay. Does that give us any insight in anything, or can we do anything with that?
Well, I haven't looked at the bills. Why don't one of you take out your cameras and I'll open up the link and maybe we can take pictures or screenshot it of what it says. I doubt that it'll have any effect on me.
Maybe we should swap positions there, Okami. You sit in the chair with the handcuffs on, because if it's not, we're going to have a hard time taking you down. If you're wrong on your theory, we will have a hard time taking you down.
Yeah, just I will sit over here where I don't have any peripherals on the bills, and we can open it and see what happens.
That sounds good.
Everybody in agreement with that?
Yeah, I'm in agreement.
Okay. Go through what you do.
Is the phone already opened and the link ready?
I would say so.
Okay.
Omega?
Yeah, it's. I haven't done anything with it. I hand the phone over to Ichi, and
Omega,
I haven't done anything. Omega.
As he clicks on the link, can you follow what happens with it? Like create like a mirror of the opening of the link on your computer to trace back to what it happens, because it's obviously going somewhere.
Yeah. So I start rifling through, kind of a bag of cables and stuff that I have handler, and I plug the phone. I have a cable I plug into the phone and plug it into my laptop. And I said, don't click anything yet, Ichi, and then I'll load some software on my computer that will help me trace where it goes from there.
Okay. What precautions are you taking with each?
I'm just sitting behind him.
I'd like to handcuff him to the chair. He only needs one hand to open up. And let's use his offhand, his left hand. He can operate the phone with his left hand.
And
if he's been dilatory on his training, then it won't be as deadly as his right.
Forgot, I am ambidextrous.
I was going to say, if he has been diligent towards his training, it won't make a difference.
I'm going to do you left-handed.
Okay. Each, you're sitting down in the chair, right hand handcuffed, phone in front of you, text message with the link right in front of you. What do you want to do?
Okay, I will, before I click on the link, make sure everything is secure, that my limbs and all that are held firmly. As I'm about to click on the link, I will think about the history of the Kimura clan. I will think of my parents, think positive thoughts.
Okay.
I won't be thinking about the wife or kid that I've abandoned to pursue this career anymore, but I will think of the old ways, the tradition of the Kimura clan, and I will open it.
You click on the link, and you just see an opened $10 bill on a black table. You hear a voiceover. It sounds granular, almost as though it's being ran through a processor. And as it begins to speak, you see these two hands enter the frame and start taking this $10 bill and begin slowly folding it. You hear the voice say, "I know your pain is deep. Let me show you how to cleanse your pain." And it takes mere seconds for the words to be spoken and for this $10 bill to fold. And you see in this video that's being shown a sigil on this $10 bill in the video itself. I need for you to make a sanity check.
15.
You start feeling this immense depression settle in on you. You remember your family that you left. You start feeling this oppressant desire to just bury yourself, knowing that you've disappointed your sensei. You disappointed your family, your lineage, and then you start getting angry. You start fighting against the handcuffs. You start reaching towards the bag that you know contains the other $10 bills.
Seeing this, can we start choking him out?
Absolutely.
There we go. What is that, an athletics check, or what is it?
That is. And that's against his athletics check to fight back.
Yeah.
Roll low,
Each.
Sammy.
Roll low,
Oh,
yeah. Roll low.
Natural
Sammy.
20.
I want to roll.
No,
are
you,
we,
hold on a
no,
second.
we're doing
So,
athletics, right?
yeah, you got to do 2d10s, Tone.
Oh, but I rolled a 20. Of course, wrong die. Okay.
Under the table.
No, I got it. I'm just checking my God blessed athletics. Okay, I rolled a 31 under 35. Oh, yes, good. 35. Yes, 31 under 35.
All right, I got to roll. Well, I want to roll over 50 because I want to fail. Let's see.
Yeah, let's see what you do.
31 under 50.
31 under 50. Adesso, you begin to check him out. Choke him out. Check him out. You're all done, sir.
How you
You're
doing?
done. He's checked out. All right. Each, you begin to go limp in his arms.
Okay.
Master.
Even though I passed too?
Yeah, because his margin was closer than your margin.
That's right. Closer to failure.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, hey.
It's a weird dynamic.
Yeah.
No,
I
that
think-
actually is good.
I think we tried to fix that in a different one of our seasons, but I can't remember what we came up with, so that's all I remember. So the room gets deathly quiet.
Omega, were you able to trace it? It looked like a live feed.
Handler, I guess I've got to ask you, was I able to trace it?
Well, in fact, it was not a live feed.
Ah,
It was an MP4.
rat bastards.
A Ouija.
And at the end of the video, it shows it came to an end and it goes away. The link
So
is still there, though.
So I should be able to trace. This is getting geeky, but I should be able to trace the origin of the packets to their source with the tools that I have. I'm assuming I have to make a computer science check against this for success.
Yeah, let me ask you, how close does that pinpoint something down? Like, give it to me as quick geek as you can. Like, does that trace it down? Like, say if I sent it from my house, could you tell it came from my house?
I could at least tell that it came from whoever your ISP is.
Okay. Go ahead and make your computer science check.
It's an 86 over 60.
Yeah, for some reason, this one seems to be elusive. In fact, it comes up 404 again. It looked like it could only be ran once.
Vine. Or Snapchat, whatever those are.
Yeah, so this seems like whatever you guys click on, it plays out the video, and then, once it's done, the traces of that video and its origin are gone. The web server is still active, so I at least know that the web server is on some hosted site, but files are gone, it seems.
So it's a one and done. But still, there's a web server that's hosting this file. It's probably your IP clicks on it, it plays it, and then it's gone. It disables the link so the IP can't get into it again. But there's something somewhere out there that's hosting this link. Somewhere. It may be shifting, but the link isn't, the server isn't moving unless it's hopping from server to server, which it doesn't sound like it is. Is it possible to track that down?
It is. It's very possible that they are proxying the playout of this video through this singular web server, and that they're just proxying through it. So it could come from hundreds of different sources, all proxied through this one location that I found, this company Quantum Horizons, in this web server. I really would need to gain access to the web host and infiltrate that server to look at any logs and see if I could find the origins, plural, that they proxy this data through. That's my best guess, Odessa.
Any idea where this server is? Any way you can approximate its location?
I could do a little more analysis just to kind of locate where the server is. I at least know that it's coming through Vex Networks, which is just an internet service provider, but I need to pinpoint the actual server and try to infiltrate it. I can do that.
Okay, cool. I guess that's our next thing. All right, how's Okami? Is he coming too?
Coldwell, what are you doing for each?
Just making sure he's breathing at this point. I mean, and not hurting himself.
Yeah, he's looks like through his experience, he's probably been tapped out a few times. He eventually starts coming back around. It's probably about 1:30 right now in the morning. Knowing what kind of day you're looking at having shortly, what do you guys want to do with the rest of the evening?
Should have just left me sleeping. We got to meet Ramsey at 7.
Yeah.
Plenty of time to sleep and dream before we get up to this waking nightmare.
Yeah.
You guys set a watch, or you just say, "Fuck it, we're good here in the middle of Crackville"? What do you want to do?
Rice isn't going to sleep. Based on this discussion that he had with Odesso, he's kind of fixated on finding the source. He's going to at least try for a couple hours, maybe get an hour or two of sleep. Because we're 1 a.m.?
It's probably about 1:30.
Okay. I'm going to at least give a couple hours to try to locate the source of this.
How's everyone's condition right now? Is everyone is each back to being normal? He's mellowed out.
He's good to go.
All right, at that point, I'll go and get everyone's weapons and return them back if we feel like everything's back to normal.
Also, we now know that each of the victims had 2 $10 bills, but it takes this third one to kind of set them off, maybe completely, because there's at least one more of these bills left unaccounted for, and the person who has that is the one that sent the videos. And I think that our next step is meeting with Ramsey, but getting to that damn bank and finding out. We don't know how many more bills this person has given out. I guess we'll find out soon if we start getting more suicides.
So you guys crash out. Agent Omega stays awake, running his diagnostics, trying to figure out where this is coming from. Go ahead and give me your computer check, please.
73 over 60.
Over 60. It's not from any lack of ability. It could be a combination of two things. One, maybe this individual that you're trying to find is just elusive. It could also be a culmination that you're just really tired. You start feeling spent at this point. Eventually, the evening rolls through. At about 6 o'clock, Coldwell, you hear the all too familiar sound of your phone begin to ring.
Coldwell answers. This is Coldwell.
I'm sorry. Coldwell, I'm looking for Agent Odin.
Yeah, let me go get him real quick. Forgot we weren't using our names.
Whoa.
Yeah, this is Odin.
Sup?
Hey, change your voice. Change your voice. Put some bass in your voice.
Agent Odin, this is Detective Baker down here at the Metro PD. I'm going to need for you and Agent Omega to come down here ASAP. We just got a call from a woman who says she may have information regarding the recent 3 deaths. I want to get your guys' ears on this. She says she's going to call back around 7:15 or so. We just have the message, so I'm hoping she sticks to that time. Can I get you guys to come down here?
Yeah, I'll notify Agent Omega and myself, and we'll try to head on down there.
Great. We'll see you then, guys. Thank you. He hangs up.
Then, is Omega sleeping, or is he just kind of cruising?
He's zombie-eyed. He looks like a 15-year-old boy that's been up all night watching the On channel.
On TV. Jeez.
Hey, Omega. Just got off the phone with Agent Baker. Says he's got some info for us about those dead girls. Apparently some lady called, says she wants to give us some intel sometime around 7:15.
7:15. What time is it? What time is it right now?
It's like 5:50. We should probably get some snacks, some food, some coffee, wake up, and let the other agents know as well. See what our plan is for today.
Okay, I'm gonna go downstairs and start getting some coffee, and I'm just like stuffing shit into my bag. I go, you tell the other agents, okay? Like I'm all just like delirious at this point.
Pride.
Yeah, at this point you're seeing multiple colors of the same color.
So I just shove everything into my bag and I'm out the door.
Yeah.
Okay.
Grab me one of those banana nut muffins too.
Odesso, you and each start waking up. Big spoon, little spoon, coming apart from each other. You've got him from behind in nice chokehold.
Yeah,
Reminiscence.
exactly.
Different kind of chokehold.
Struggles. Okami, what did you see in there? Did you see anything like we can use? Anything that lasts with you? Any other than this guy saying what he said? What were you left with?
All I was left with was darkness, despair, things that made me regret, well, during the video that I watched, regret the choices I have made. And then after a few moments, that black turned to red. And there was nothing but a mist of red clouding my vision. And that was easier to deal with. I am okay to dealing with the rage. It's the despair that takes the person. No one kills themselves out of anger. It's despair. So if you feel that despair coming over you, switch to the anger if you can.
I felt the same way. I had the despair which turned into rage. But one thing I can't figure out is the source of the rage. I was feeling bad. I was feeling a lot of self-pity, but I can't remember why I went from the self-pity to the rage. Do you have did anything stand out to you?
Something about these bills, probably with the completion of the bill, something to do with the red eye staring at you. Maybe it was something to do with the person's voice, but it had a hold over me, and it's not something that I look forward to dealing with again, but I have no idea. I know that I've felt this feeling before, many months ago, I think, when we were walking down the hallway and there was a painting that also elicited these feelings from me. Not the rage, though, and not to this degree. Now I'm of clear mind and know that my purpose is on the right path, but I believe we'll be hearing that voice again, and at least one more $10 bill we need to claim.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they were how whoever is behind these bills was able to tap into a rage. It's not the same. It's a totally different type of emotion. I mean, the despair is easily, you'd think you'd fall into the pit and then take it to the logical conclusion of self-deletion, but that wasn't it. It was overwhelming rage. And then I didn't have the urge to self-harm. I wanted another bill.
I believe that's just your Italian blood wanting money.
Now there's that too. That usually, yeah, but for a $10 bill, I wouldn't get that upset about it. It's something a little
You
bit
lost
bigger.
10 bucks.
Shit,
you'd be
I
totally-
was seeing you get
Yeah, I
upset
just
as
lost
it
10
was.
bucks. I'd be pissed.
So, Agent Odin and Agent Omega, are you guys on the road?
No, we're actually Omega went down to get some coffee, try to wake up. I'm actually heading next door to notify the other agents.
There
So
we go.
Odin will knock on the door.
Come on in.
Oh, you guys didn't even lock your door last night, huh? I see.
Waiting for
Agent-
Martin.
Yeah.
Just received some information. Going to be meeting with Agent Baker down at the station around 7:15. I know you guys wanted to meet with Agent Roscoe.
Ramsey.
Get them out. Get them out $10 bills.
Roscoe's the female deputy from Reacher season 1. That's a different episode that we're.
Different episode. I know you guys are meeting up with Agent Ramsey at the station. Didn't know if you guys wanted to tag along and we could all go down together, or if we're going to meet down at the station.
I think we should all stick together. No need leaving one of us behind.
Oh,
any
wait,
of us
we got
behind.
Ramsey's car. We have to
Yeah.
take it back to him.
No, that's negative. You got Dalton's car.
Dalton's car. That's what I meant. Yeah.
How are you guys feeling this morning?
They've both been choked out.
Like any other night on a,
It's just a Tuesday.
just like a brother's weekend, you know.
Feel like you got the hangover without the benefit of drinking.
Because I haven't slept, but maybe an hour or two. Are you going to tag me with exhaustion?
I am.
Okay. I figured. So one thing that I want to do is, since Martin has been so eager to like help us, I want to have a little dialogue with him to see if I can get something that kind of amps me up for a little while, because it'll offset the exhaustion for a couple hours depending on the dice roll.
Okay. Why don't you go on down and have your little dialogue with guest specialist Martin?
Hey, Martin, is there any coffee down here?
Oh, yeah, man. I got all kinds of coffee.
You
Yeah,
should be
well-
talking to Okami, man. He's the coffee guy.
You want some Colombian? You want some dark roast?
I'll take some coffee, but I'm looking for something a little bit with a little more zip. I didn't sleep very well last night, so a little
Whoa,
more
man.
zip. You got anything else?
Is this an entrapment?
No. It has nothing to do with entrapment. I didn't sleep real well, and
You look like shit, old man.
I take a deep breath. I'm just trying to keep it going for a couple more hours. We got something going on.
I've got some stuff, but I'm reticent about just trading hands here in public. I mean, I got a lot of people that know me here, man. But I'm okay with it. I'll tell you what. You lay a little C note down there on the counter, and I might put something over by the coffee bistro table for you, my friend.
Done. I reach into my wallet. I pull a C note out, lay it on the table.
Okay. He goes over to the coffee TV tray where the two coffee urns are at, and he lays something on a napkin. He comes back over and he nonchalantly takes this $100 bill off the counter and says, "You know what? I got to go wash my hands there, Poppy. See your own way out there, buddy." And he disappears. And you look over and you see there's a white pill on a napkin.
Are these legal or illegal?
The napkins? They're probably
No,
legal.
The pill. It's important based on how many hours I can offset the exhaustion.
Judging by the character of the individual you were talking to, they're probably illegal.
Okay, so I get a 2d6 of how long I offset my exhaustion.
Okay.
Okay, I offset for 4 hours.
Okay.
So I can keep going for 4 more hours.
4 more hours, and that's at that point, it's gonna start kicking in hard.
But- I get a disorder when I use the stimulant. So we're going to have to figure out what that is.
There's no we in this, French man. I'll figure out your disorder. But don't forget to remind me of that.
You got dick
Just
breath.
did.
No, I mean, when we start going through stuff, I'll remember that. Okay.
All right. Okay.
Each, are you and Odesso ready down by the car?
Yeah, I
Or
think
do you guys
we're
want to have a
getting ready to-
dialogue in the room or anything before you roll?
We can talk on the car
Yeah.
or in the
Okay.
car. We're just waiting for Omega to get his fix.
He meets with Coldwell at their car, which is your Mercury Sable that you guys rented back at the airport. Each, you and Odesso, get into TEA Dalton's Charger, and both cars start heading back to Metro PD. By the way, it is Friday morning. Takes you about 7 minutes to get to DC Metro PD, so you have 7 minutes to discuss whatever you want with your partner.
All right, Odessa, we need to figure out what we're going to say to Ramsey. How far do we include him in this? As far as I can recall, memory's a little hazy after the choke job. I don't think Ramsey knows about victim
Zero.
and him, with the money and all that. He knows the victim, but I don't think he knows about the extra stuff.
Yeah. I think we should bring him in a little bit. He can help us, give us some insight, and maybe we can get a little bit more assistance from him, especially with retrieving the last bill, which, bottom line is this: we didn't get a lot out of that. We just know that the link's active. We got a server from an unknown location. I mean, now we know the methodology. You look at the bill, the phone goes off somehow, sends you the link puts you into that same weird state where you want to kill yourself. But that's all we've got. So the bills are definitely a problem.
Well, we don't have to tell him. All we need to tell him is if we want to keep it the more sinister stuff underway or under our hat, we
Right.
can share that each of the victims had a link to each of the
phones. The
yeah,
phones
each
can-
phone had
yeah.
this, and that the phone had a thing of the bills. If we want to tell him about that, it had a video, because he can look at it now. There's no video, so he's not going to be affected. But
Right.
we can fill him into that if we want to as well, or just say that there is a link with all these suicides, and it's a video link that each of the people had.
Well, let's keep it as vague as possible until we realize we can trust him.
Yeah, I'll let you handle that.
Oh, yeah, of course. He saw what happened with our medical examiner, and that's still a little bit on the weird side. So the less we give him, the better. But if he can be trusted, we can, pull him in a little more and get some more help with it, because ultimately our mission is to figure out who's giving up these bills, and then we collect all the stuff from them, and then we clean them up to make sure that this doesn't happen again. So when this concludes, it's not going to be concluding in the way that normal law enforcement would like. It's going to conclude with a cleaning. So if he's on board for at least as much as he can be, or at least would turn a blind eye to anything that we happen to leave behind, it would certainly be for our benefit.
And before we get to our meeting with Ramsey, we should probably jump on a quick call and let Heisenberg know the situation.
Yeah. Let's do that. Why don't you initiate the call since I'm driving?
Okay, I'll put it on speaker. I will call.
Odysseus.
Heisenberg, we got a new lead and we're following up on it. It's getting a little sticky, and we're wondering if we should bring in Ramsey into the fold in a good way.
I don't know him well enough other than what his personal file says. It says he's on like his third divorce. I don't know. He seems like a pretty broken guy.
He'll probably fit just right in.
Well, I understand that though, but I don't want him becoming a liability on the front end of this. I mean, if he's a great guy, what's going to happen if something goes sideways and I got to have you take him out in the middle of this operation?
Well,
What's your
would
thought
indeed
on this, Odesso?
that would indeed be a problem. If it turns out that he is a solid guy, could withstand the strain. I mean, he's no stranger to tragedy with 3 different divorces, so it may be actually adding a little clarity to the darkness for him. So maybe we could, well, if it turns out that he's a guy that can handle it, would you have any per se objection to us bringing him in?
Who am I on with?
It's myself and Okami.
Okami, what's your thought on this?
He's already brought up some interesting thoughts about these suicides with the bills. he knows there's something peculiar that's going on. I don't know how much he knows about this or how much he's thinking, but he seemed to be open to the idea when I tested a little bit, and he seemed receptive when I talked to him about maybe the bills being something, and he definitely said something that the bills seem to be involved in these more than just elements of a crime scene.
Has he seen what the bills can do?
No. And he should not.
You don't think he saw what happened to Dalton? You don't think that was part of it?
Well, he did see what happened to Dalton, but I don't think he's linked it.
Aftermath.
Okay.
He may not have linked that to the bills yet.
Okay.
That's quite the leap.
Okay.
For someone outside the fold, that would be quite the leap.
Well, I would suggest that tread lightly with him. I'll let you make a in the field discretion on this. But if at any time before you confront him, if he makes any analytical leap about what these bills can do, you're going to have to take him out. If he hasn't been brought into the fold by that point, we can't have him out there as a loose cannon dropping information, because whoever he distributes this information to, it's just going to cause a chain reaction, and we'll have to go after them and whoever they talked to. So,
Understood.
Oh. Line goes dead. You guys pull up to the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police Station. You see the Mercury Sable already sitting in the parking lot. You see Rice and Coldwell get out and start walking towards the building right as you shut off your engine.
Okay, I will jog over to them quickly and give them a quick debrief about what Heisenberg says about our thoughts of potentially letting Ramsey know a little bit of maybe what we're doing, since he already seems to be kind of attuned that these bills have something other, they're not just regular bills. But I'll give them a quick debrief so that they can get in and make their phone call with the person they're going to talk to.
We'll try to figure out what we can as quickly as we can, and I'll keep you guys posted through text message if I can't make the call.
Okay.
Hey, Ichi, how you doing? Did you sleep good last night? Are you ready to go?
Need to take about 20% off that, my friend, before you go into that police station.
I can't. We
Well,
gotta
you
go.
better.
We got stuff to do. We have a case. Come on, are you guys coming with us?
No, it's going to be how it was before. But honestly, you need to take a breath. You're not walking into just some random people. These are guys who are attuned to stuff. We don't need to be breaking our cover because you got the Zackleys going.
I'm going to take the stairs.
I'm going to take the side of the building.
I took apart the car stereo. I want to see if I could fix it.
So who goes up first?
We can go in first, Adesso and I. It's fine. We have to meet Ramsey at 7, so we're closer to meeting than their meeting. Theirs is at like 7:15. So.
Okay. As you make your way up to the 3rd floor, you see Ramsey's on the floor, and you see TEA Dalton is with him. They're kind of going over some stuff, and they look up and they see both of you disembark the elevator, and they kind of wave to you, calling you over to one of the offices. Hey, how you doing? It's been a while, huh?
Yeah.
A long
How's
while.
everyone doing?
Yeah.
We're doing well. We had a somewhat restful night's sleep at the American Suites, not the Holiday Motor Lodge, but it'll suffice.
You guys got a lot of courage to sleep at a place like that.
Like I said, we didn't get much sleep. I believe Odysseus has the keys to your chariot. TEA Dalton, Specialist Dalton. We appreciate that.
Just call me Bill, guys.
Billy!
Odysseus, I just want to thank you for taking care of me in the hallway. I don't know. I don't know what happened to me. But whatever you were saying was getting through to me. Thank you.
No problem, man. Anytime. This job, it's got its stresses, I understand.
What I'd like to do is, Bill, like I said, it was a rough night. What do you say we go inside and get some coffees for us? We'll let Odysseus here brief Ramsey on whatever we've come up with.
Yeah, that's fine. Hey, Don, don't start without me, all right? Just keep it kind of light till I get back. Yeah, no problem, man. Get some coffee.
I'll look back to Odysseus and just kind of give him like the nod, like go
Okay.
forward but tread lightly.
Got it. Don, real quick, have you ever seen anything like this before? Stuff you couldn't explain, something out of the ordinary?
Agent, I work in DC. I see all kinds of shit on a daily. Having come from New York, between up north and down here, I've seen wild shit from one end to the other. Can you be more specific, Agent?
Well, I'm talking about something that made you doubt your sanity. I'm talking about something out of the ordinary that make you think that you could believe in ghosts or the supernatural.
Ghosts? I thought you were going to talk to me about some crackhead burning his baby in a microwave or something like that. Where are you coming up with the ghosts?
Nothing. Just a little. Just wanted to see, because sometimes we come across things that defy scientific explanation. I just wanted to know if you
certainly has a way with it.
Right now, this is a little bit strange to me.
You said you stayed at the American Suites last night? You didn't happen to drink the coffee there, did you?
No.
Okay. I heard about that fucker. Put shit in the coffee all the time. Makes people just cracked out of their fucking gourd. Anyways. No, I will say, though, I've known Bill for 7 years. I've never seen him like he was yesterday. That has me worried.
Cracked
This man
like
is
that.
a fucking pillar.
Yeah. A professional like that, an experienced and seasoned professional like that, to suddenly crack. You ever seen anything like that before?
Since Afghanistan, and that was very few and far between. But that was the right setting back then. This is not the right setting. I don't know. And honestly, what went down with Dwayne back there during the autopsy, I've never seen Dr. Lauder like that. To the point where this happened, I know he was having marital problems, but I've never seen this. This is... I don't even know what to say. Honestly,
Yeah.
I haven't even told his wife yet. I'll see her tonight.
He's gonna need a lot of mo.
Got it. All right. Well, if you do happen to see anything else, please let me know. It may seem trivial or fantastical or, in your mind, not worth mentioning. Believe me, I want to know. Especially if it seems out of the ordinary, extraordinarily out of the ordinary.
Look, it should be known that I'm the one that called this in, that I don't believe these were suicides. These just don't have the right flavor to them.
I'm concurring with your
pinpoint
opinion.
what it's about. So if you ask me if this is all weird, if this is some kind of something that's just not natural in the scheme of things, then yeah, I could see that. You know, I've known Dwayne for 12 years. Like I said, I've known Bill for 7. I don't know any of these other people, but it's like there's something in the water, some kind of an epidemic. I don't know.
Got it. All right. Well, we have another lead we'd like to follow up on. And I do have a question. Do you guys have a computer segment or people assigned to tech who could chase down websites, links, cell phone servers for web hosting and such like that? Do you have a team that does that?
We do, but it's not in this building. We've got 5 other DC Metropolitan PD buildings throughout the city here. If you got something, I could send it their way.
Okay.
Does this look like a tech thing?
Well, so there's been a tech crossover. I have to talk to Agent Omega, get more details from him. He's got the lead up on that, but we think we may need to use some of your resources.
Does this have something to do with Detective Haynes?
No, I don't think it has to do with Detective Haynes. It has to do more along with our case and a weird crossover. So we may have to... It may be nothing. That's just something I'd like to check out. Some weird emails that some of the victims receive that don't seem to be part of their normal correspondence. So that maybe those could be checked out, maybe search back to where they came from. It may be nothing, it may be something, because we're not running into much, as you well know.
Yeah, we got some nerds. They could take a look at it for you.
Gotcha.
As you're starting to wrap up your conversation, you see Rice and Coldwell get off the elevator and start making their way back towards the conference room.
Got it. I'll pull Omega aside for a moment.
Hey, Odessa, what's going on? Hey, hello. How'd you sleep last night?
Omega, doing well, and just throttle it back a little bit. Agent Ramsey over here may have access
Agent
to some
who?
of the... That's Agent Ramsey over there standing next to Okami.
Okay,
He's
okay,
got
go.
a couple
Continue.
of, he's got some pull with the DC electronics wizards, some guys who could give you some more resources to help you crack those traces, those websites, that server, location something. You may be able to use their assets in order to help you further your search. If you want to, talk to them. I didn't tell him that they were text messages. What I told him was what they were emails, and you're trying to chase it back to a server. Could be nothing, but I was circumspect on how much information to give him. But if you need those resources, you could talk to him.
Well, that sounds really exciting. Who do I talk to again? When?
Whenever you're ready. Agent Don Ramsey.
Ramsey, right now? It's a good time?
Yeah, he's not doing much right now, sure.
And I'm like out the door already, like as he's telling me.
Coldwell, do you just let him do his thing and you keep going to the conference room, or what are you going to do?
I'll let him do his thing.
Okay.
Remember, I got 3 hours. I have 3 hours of this, by the way.
I'll let him do his thing real quick. I'll head towards the conference room.
Yeah, you see Detective Baker poking his head out. He actually sees the two of you walking through the bullpen, sees you guys briefly stop and talk with Agent Odysseus. And then he sees Omega just kind of like make a beeline towards Ramsey. And he sees you standing there. He's like gesturing towards you to come towards him.
Me?
No, towards Coldwell.
Oh,
No, he's letting you just cut and bait at this point. Good morning, Agent Odin. How you doing?
Morning, doing great. What do we got?
What we got is a message. It was short and sweet. Basically, a woman claiming to have information about the recent deaths here in DC. I'm currently waiting for her to call back. And as he says this, the phone begins to ring. He looks at the other two detectives. He's like, shh, shh, hold down. Picks up the phone and he puts it on speaker. Detective Baker, who am I speaking with? Hello. My name is Mamalese Fontenot. I'd like to speak to the detective who is investigating the recent deaths. Yes, this is Detective Baker. You're currently on the phone with myself and Agent Odin, who's helping me check these murders out. Yes, through certain methods I am hesitant to reveal. I have been given an intuition that these victims had a weakness that was exploited by someone who tricked them into committing suicide.
And how did you get this information?
I'd rather not say, but I believe that these individuals took their lives and that they had been manipulated to do so.
And you've witnessed this firsthand?
Hold on a second there, Agent Odin. Ma'am, these are not suicides. These individuals were murdered. What do you mean they are murdered? Were these individuals not taking their own lives? Listen, Mama, I think you might be looking for Detective Ramsey. So you are saying that these 3 prostitutes, they did not kill themselves, no? He looks at you, Agent Odin, like, do we have a disconnect here or something?
No, these lovely night workers don't appear to be suicides. What made you think that they were suicides?
Well, I was led to believe that there were certain instances that had forced these individuals to take their lives because of an imbalance that they had within themselves.
Are you saying there was some kind of problem with power struggle within these ladies, or?
Let me ask you something. So you're saying that you're looking for murderers, not suicides?
From what we can gather, we're looking for someone who committed murders. Yes, we had no indication of these ladies being considered suicides.
Were there
Especially-
any bills found at the crime scenes of these murders?
Bills, I'm afraid I don't know what you're speaking of. Can you elaborate for me?
Possibly 2 or maybe 7 folded bills?
Huh, that's quite fascinating. What can you tell me more?
You
Since-
should be aware that the opposite of a 2 is a 7. And I have a history that deals with certain types of personalities and their potentials. You will see this leans heavily into the craft of celestial numerology, which is based on the principles that everything is a vibration that operates at different frequencies, and that every frequency attracts an equal frequency, and that every frequency has an opposite which attract their like in kind. Balance attracts balance, unbalance attracts unbalance. Does any of this strike a nerve, strike a memory of anything that may have happened?
Possibly. I'm just more fascinated on the information you're telling me. So you think these bills are related to a balance of the universe, a balance of the workers themselves? You mentioned it was a struggle of some kind of power balance of these ladies. Can you tell me anything more?
I believe that your suicides were produced by somebody manipulating them through numerology. Let me ask you this. Were each of them killed with 2 cuts, one to each side of their neck?
That's correct.
At this point, like, Detective Baker's just freaking out at this point how this individual could even know this information.
At the same time, I kind of want to get a message to Detective Baker, like, is there any way, like, covering, like, the phone, like, is there any way we can, like, track this and patch me through, Agent Odysseus and Okami?
Yeah, I'll text him right now. So he starts texting Agent Odysseus to come to the conference room and bring Okami with him. These fucking names.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, she's still going on. You guys get the text, and it says, "Get to the conference room, stat."
So I'm just trying to keep her on the line. She seems very talkative, so going through, what more can you tell me about these bills?
Well, I'm trying to understand. And as she's going through this, Odysseus, you and Okami come into the conference room, followed by Omega and Ramsey and Dalton. And everybody's just kind of like hovering around this table at this point. And you hear this woman say, "Well, let me ask you this. Are you saying that these eloquent workers of the evening were not suicides?"
Well, that's part of an ongoing investigation, but it appears that you have some information that not everyone has.
Well, do you have suicides there or not? I'm trying to help you. I think I may know something, but I'm not going to give you something if this is a foolish gesture. I look like a kook.
No, it's not kookish. We have some suicides, and we do have some murders.
So you do have murders then?
We do.
How many murders do you have?
So far, we have 3 murders that we are aware of.
And you have how many suicides?
We have 3 suicides.
The balance in the unbalance. The cola in the uncola. There is one thing I think that you should know. I have been unable to reach my son. In his last correspondence with me a few days ago hinted at a darkness within. He said he had been released from the pain of inertia. His name is Darius, and I believe he may be your 7. He may be the opposite of your 2.
How is 7 the opposite of 2? That's what Odysseus whispers in the ear of Odin.
How is 7 the opposite of 2? Mathematically speaking, I mean, can you elaborate for me?
People who are represented by the number 2 are very soft and often weak, but they often fail to see the big picture, and they are too afraid and spiritually weak on their own, and thus are very prone to suicide. Whereas the number 7 is constantly seeking a deeper meaning in everything, resulting in many profound thoughts within their mind. They fear to be perceived as weak, but instead of finding comfort in suicide, they choose violence and crime, oftentimes leading to murder. I'm sad to say, but I believe my son may be the 7 you are looking for.
Get his address.
And where might we be able to find your son?
I have
Where
not
is his
seen him
residence?
in about 9 months. I just know he is somewhere in the DC area. His name is Darius Fontenot. He's 6'2", 170 pounds with dreadlocks. He has an eye patch over one of his eyes.
I know where Darius is at.
Okay.
And with that, I will see you next session.
Ah,
Well done.
yeah.
So I'm gonna-
yeah. Bills, I'm afraid I don't know what you're speaking of. Can you elaborate for me?
Possibly 2 or maybe 7 folded bills. Hold on a second. Yeah, tell him.
Junior, that wouldn't be known to the public, so she's got inside information. So a standard law enforcement procedure. This now turns her to some lunatic on rambling on the phone to someone who may actually have pertinent information, because that would have been something that they would have never let know to anybody that bills were involved. So what you want to do now is you've gone from skeptical to, okay, now you're interested. Like, oh, okay, yeah, let's talk about that. How do you know about that? Who told you? What makes you? And get into that. Develop that line of questioning. Pull that information out of her.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us once again on Roll the Hard 20 podcast. Remember, you can find us and subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora Radio, iHeart Radio, Amazon Podcasts, and Audible. And if you like what you're listening to, be sure to leave us that 5-star rating and review. Don't forget about our YouTube channel at Roll the Hard 20. So if you're into watching and you want to help support this show, then head on over and hit that subscribe button. It really does help the show out. We can also be found in the wild on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, so don't forget to look for us there and check us out. You can also contact the show directly at rollthehard20podcast@gmail.com, or head on over to the website at rollthehard20podcast.com, where you can download the current show directly, pick and choose past shows from our archives, or view our galleries. We've got a lot of stuff posted over there, so check us out. And finally, join us on our Patreon at patreon.com/rollthehard20podcast, where you can become a hard slinger and pick up swag. So until next time, keep your dice warm and your glass topped off as you roll those hard 20s.